Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this Perth Common Good Fund Committee meeting for the 3rd of February 2025. I understand we have apologies from Councillors Drysdale and McCall, and Councillor Ahern, Bailey Ahern is online. Are you online, Chris?
I am. Good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Is there anything we might be able to do about that sound? Okay. In that case, we'll proceed, but I just wonder whether Alison O'Brien is in the building, and in view of the problem with the sound, whether she can come down to the council chamber.
I'm sorry, I'm at home.
Okay, fair enough. We just about heard you. You'll have to shout, Alison, in due course. Thank you. Okay, moving on then. We move to item. Do we have any declarations of interest in respect of today's business? Yep, Councillor Chan, Andy.
Declaration of interest in 5.7 Perth Traders Association. I'm an organiser. Thanks.
Okay, many thanks for that. And moving on then, we move to item 3, the minutes of the meeting held on Monday the 25th of November last year. Are there any matters arising from those minutes, or can we accept them as written? Approved. Okay, thank you very much. Moving then now to item 5, the applications for financial assistance. The first small grant application we have is from Perth Festival of the Arts. They are seeking £2,281 to contribute towards their community stage and free shows in Perth city centre. And I would be happy to recommend that we grant them the amount that they're looking for of £2,281, given that that is less than half of the total, and there's funding from other sources. Are members happy to accept that recommendation? Agreed. Thank you very much. Moving on then to the Perth Chinese Association. They are requesting £4,655 towards their Chinese New Year celebrations, which were held the other weekend on the 25th of January. Of course, we are dealing with this matter in retrospect because of the committee timetable and not because they didn't apply in good time. Again, I am happy to recommend, this is an event that we've consistently supported in the past. I think it's something that we should support, and I notice that we've supported to varying degrees in the past years. But again, I'm happy to recommend that this year we grant them the £4,655 that they are seeking, again, in view of the fact that there are considerable contributions from other places. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Convener. I tend to agree with the Convener, but I'd like to know, we've got the events already happened. Are these figures being updated, or can they be updated? Because I mean, we've got quotation for the singers, a quotation for the workshop. Can these figures be updated?
I would imagine that, if you like, if we make a grant of 4,655, that is the maximum we will go to. And I think, in accordance with previous practice, we will be, if you like, it will be an amount up to 4,655. Sarah, can you add in anything extra? Thank you.
The figures haven't been updated, but the organisation will send in the invoices, and if they're different, I can come back to committee for further instruction.
In the meantime, are we happy to approve a grant of up to £4,655? Agreed. Thank you. We move on then to the item at 5.15. My apologies, it has, yes. Peter, thank you. My apologies.
Yeah, I don't want to extend discussion unnecessarily, but I would say that I wanted to support your recommendation that we grant the application in full. I've said previously at this committee that the Chinese New Year Festival is an important event in our equalities calendar, and it's an important cultural event in Perth and Perth and Kinross as well. It was received a lot of popular support, I would think. A lot of people came into the city centre to see the Dragon Parade and to hear the music and see the spectacle. The Civic Hall was buzzing with the displays that were organised there, and there seemed to be an awful lot of people came round to try their skills at chopsticks, as well as face painting, mask painting. There was a lot of activities for a whole range of different age groups, and I thought it was a really good event, and you want to commend Andy for the work that he'd done to organise it. So, and thanks to all the members who were there and took part as well. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Peter Barrett. I can say nothing other than agreeing with you in full. I think it's a valuable part of our cultural year. Thank you very much. Moving on then to the Hearts and Minds application at 5.15. Hearts and Minds are seeking a grant of £1,536 towards their 2025 Clown Doctors in the Classroom project at Fairview Primary School. In view of the fact that there is very considerable funding support for this venture from other sources, again, I would be happy to recommend that we make the grant of the full 1,536 that they are applying for. But Councillor Rebecca, so you have a comment.
Thanks very much. Like Councillor Barrett, I don't want to grandstand too much or prolong any conversation, but in my visits to Fairview over the years, I've seen the Clown Doctors in action, and they're incredible people. They're great value for money. The work they do is fantastic. So I'd really like to support the award today. Thank you.
No, thank you for that, Councillor Rebecca. I haven't actually seen them myself, but I would be inclined to support anyone who's wishing to carry out activities in support of Fairview School. Thank you. Okay, we agree that we make a grant of £1,536. The fourth matter that we have today is in respect of the Scottish Brass Band Association. They're seeking a grant of £5,000 to assist with the hire of Perth Concert Hall for their March 2025 regional contest. Again, £5,000 is but a seventh of the total cost of laying on this event. To me, it without a doubt provides entertainment for people in the Perth Common Good area to attend. But I sense myself that our support also, if you like, has an economic aspect to it. And whilst £5,000 is asked for, I would be happy to recommend 2,500, but I'm more than happy if there are alternatives or if anybody wants to raise an amendment to that. Thank you. Is everybody happy that we support this event to the tune? Okay, we have an amendment from Bailey Chris Ahern that we should make the full grant of £5,000. Do we have a seconder for that amendment?
Happy to second.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McPherson. In that case, I think we will go to a vote without further ado. Sorry, first of all, Councillor Peter Barrett, comment.
Thanks, Convener. I was going to say I was happy to second your motion if that was going to be required. I did have some misgivings about awarding this application in full, so I'm happy to support your proposal for £2,500. I recognise that the organisers of this haven't approached the council for financial support in the past, and perhaps that's maybe that's something that's overdue. But looking at the figures for their accommodation for volunteers, I did think that £7,000 seemed a bit over what I would have expected, and appreciate that they may be staying at the George, but other hotels are available. And my estimate was that if there was something like 35 volunteers, then we were talking about £100 a night for accommodation. And I would have thought they'd been able to get a deal for those sorts of numbers at some figure considerably less. So very happy to support the event, but I think to the tune of 2,500 is more appropriate than 5,000.
Thank you very much for that, and my apologies for not seeking a seconder for my motion. I must be reminded of proper procedure. I think now we are in a position to go forward to a vote. So if we can go to that, thank you.
Thanks, convener. So we have a motion proposed by yourself, seconded by Councillor Peter Barrett, which is to award an amount of £2,500. We have an amendment proposed by Bailey Ahern, seconded by Councillor McPherson, which is to award the full amount of £5,000. When I call your name, if you can indicate whether you're voting for the motion or the amendment. Bailey Ahern.
Amendment.
Councillor Liz Barrett.
Motion.
Councillor Peter Barrett.
Motion.
Councillor Chan.
Amendment.
Councillor Donaldson.
Abstain.
Councillor McPherson.
Amendment.
Councillor Mayor.
Amendment.
Councillor Massey.
Motion.
Deputy Provost.
Motion.
And Councillor Rebecca.
Motion.
We have 5 votes for the motion, 4 votes for the amendment, with 1 abstention. Therefore, the motion will carry.
Thank you very much. We now move then to item 6, the present budget statement and the draft budget for the financial year 25-26. And can I ask Alison O'Brien to introduce this paper? Thank you.
Thank you, convener. This report asks the committee to approve the Perth Common Good Fund budget for 25-26 and draft budgets for a further 2 years. It also provides for noting the details of the income and expenditure for the fund to 31st of December 24 and the projected outturn for the current financial year. The proposed budget for 25-26 has a small number of changes worthy of highlight. The Moncrief Island underspend in the current financial year has been transferred to a budget in 25-26. The financial assistance budget now includes separate budgets for the MELA and the City of Perth Salute, over and above the small grants budget of 75,000, which has been maintained at current levels. The cost of living underspend in the current year has been rolled forward to create the budget in 25-26. There's a budgeted deficit in 25-26 of 18,730 Moncrief Island. However, the future 2 years have a budgeted surplus. The Perth Common Good Fund budget is based upon a strategy of distributing the annual income of the fund whilst protecting the fund balance. The usual risk should be borne in mind that all budgets for the fund are prepared mainly using historical expenditure patterns. In terms of the current year and since the November committee, the projected surplus in the region of £233 has changed to a projected surplus of just over 91,000. The main movements in the projected underspend include 50,000 as a result of the cancellation of the Christmas lights switch on ceremony and nearly 30,000 movement in the financial assistance costs. There are also movements in repairs and maintenance and fees and charges income. The estimated fund balance at 31st of March 25 is 2,145,737, a movement of just over 91,000 since the last report. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Alison. Does anyone have any questions? I see one from Councillor Liz Barrett. Liz.
Yes, Alison, it's just about the reduction in the financial assistance cost of living section. I know that our actual for 23-24 was 39220 and the budget was 30280, but we haven't spent much of that. But please could I suggest that we go for a budget of 30,000 for next year in case there's need?
Maybe Fiona will answer that. I think it was a set budget at a point in time, and that's just been the rolled forward balance. So I think that could be amended, but it would have to be a decision of the committee. So perhaps that would need to be an amendment.
Thank you, Alison.
Or keep me right. Keep me right to that.
Yes, that was the decision to create, if you like, a cost of living fund was a one-time decision at the time it was taken, and we haven't subsequently added funds to it. But if you want to put forward an amendment, Liz, that we increase that amount to 30,000, say, and the net effect of that would be to reduce or increase the planned deficit next year to about 25,000. Then I'm happy for you to seek support for that amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Convener. I would like to propose that amendment. I appreciate it's increasing the deficit, but we have a large surplus this year, so I don't think we need to have great concern about the impact on our overall position, if Alison would confirm.
Yeah, no, that would be fine.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would wish to? Yes, Councillor Rebeck, do you wish to speak?
I'm happy to second if the other Councillor Barrett doesn't want to. I'm happy to second that. Yep.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions for? Are there any other questions for Alison? No, I see none. In that case, if we can, is there a second for the motion then that we keep that budget at 23,000 and the hundreds that it is? No. In that case, I think that the amendment passes with unanimous support then, and we don't need to have a vote. Okay, in that case, we agree this. Can we agree this paper with the amendment that the budget under the cost of living category is increased from 23,267 for 25-26 to 30,000 with consequent impact on the planned deficit? Great. Okay, thank you very much. We now have to, I think, come out of the current meeting that we're in and go into the new meeting for the private paper. Thank you.